Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV, and in this segment, dear viewers, we have a very special guest, and of course, the NEMIC will have an important role to play in raising awareness of modern and contemporary Egyptian history and society as well, hosting events and temporary displays and exhibitions, and providing an important center for the country's youth. It has the opportunity to become an exclusive institution that serves as a forum for open dialogue, debate, and the exchange of ideas. And in this context, dear viewers, we are honored to host Dr. Badawi Ismail, NEMIC's restoration consultant and the Dean of Antiquities at the faculty in Luxor. A very good day, sir, and it's a pleasure to have you with us in today's episode of Nile.
Different than other museums.
Yeah, this is the National Museum of Egypt, and also is a museum service for all museums in Egypt, all Egyptian sectors in Egypt, and also his extension his special work with research in human remains and mummies, and there is a center, only the first center in Eastern and Middle East and Africa for mummies and human remains, and for biological research works, and also have a conservation center for service for all Egyptian sectors and Arab and African for training, for research, and for different fields.
Dr. Badawi, of course, 17 royal painted coffins were transferred to the museum. What is the state of conservation of these coffins?
You know, we have here the first design here for conservation is named is chain process.
The name is?
Chain process.
Chain process.
Yeah, yes. Firstly, backing, and here unbacking. And first aid conservation, it includes documentation, photography, and the state of conservation, and the current situation for each coffin or each the organic material, and beginning with mechanical cleaning, and we have a quarantine here for prevent biological decay, especially from insects and bacteria and fungi and ashes. After determined the types of biological decay, we have the first anoxia treatment chamber here in the Middle East and Africa to prevent oxygen. We have 9.96 nitrogen. You know that the air is 78% of nitrogen. Here we prevent oxygen to kill different insects and especially for mummies and organic material. This is the first unit here in Middle East and Africa.
Okay, Dr. Badawi, more than 20 royals are going to be transferred here in the NEMIC's National Museum of Egyptian Civilization. How did you get ready for this important event, and what are the process of restoration and conservation of these mummies?
The work for this is beginning from 1 year. Firstly, for the conservation of this mummies, and try to consolidate it or to prevent the decay by the system of nitrogen in a museum in Tahrir Museum. The transportation within bubbles of nitrogen inside the boxes before transform it here. Also in the process of transporting, this is bubbles of nitrogen to prevent any pollutions, any decay from biological insects, and different types of decay. Here, when coming to our museum, we took into the storage to make another cleaning, to the laboratory of the Center of Mummies, to make the conservation again, and put it in the showcases here with nitrogen also. This is dynamic system, is especially here in Egypt, and he have successful processes to prevent any decay for mummies. You know that mummies is fragile materials. It is very difficult to prepare or to deal with this material. Only to preserve, not to conserve or restrict. You know that is the human remains. You have ethics and rules to deal with mummies. Only to preserve and to conserve, we apply nitrogen system only.
Okay, when we have with us, of course, Dr. Badawi Ismail, which is the Dynamics Restoration Consultant and the Dean of Antiquities at the Faculty of in Luxor. Does their role, is their role different after inauguration? And how many mummies will be transferred to the gallery of mummies exactly? Because some said 20, some said 21, some said 22. So when you're here, then you have the answer.
Yeah. Here we built from 10 years a conservation, a mummies center. Now we have a mummies center with special storage for mummies and special laboratory for mummies. It's not found in any different countries and different museums. Now we have a world museum, not local museum. 20 mummies and two in the exhibition, but we have a storage for 35 mummies, another mummies. We have the first area here and the first center to deal with different mummies and to make a service for mummies for different museum and different sites of Egypt.
Dr. Badawi, transferring artifacts from one place to another, and of course, the most important are the mummies. Does that affect these artifacts and affect the bodies of the mummies?
Yeah. We have ethics as scientific ethics to transport the artifacts, especially for mummies. The mummies is fragile material and it's difficult to transport it. It's very difficult to transport 22 mummies for kings of Egypt in one day, but our colleagues in our museum here make a lot of work to conserve it, to conserve or to transport the materials of organic. It's also difficult. It need to make a special transportation, a special material for packing, a special material to preserve it within the transportation of the artifacts. We have here 11 storage for the biomaterials, especially for stone, for metal, for glass and ceramic, for textile, for graphics, for wood, by the material, and different humidity, controlling humidity. Also for the mummies, it is very important to concentrate the humidity to stable it with temperature, because if we have high temperature and will be a cracking in the mummies. The mummies destroyed by cracking. As we speak, that is fragile, and the dryness of the mummies is very, very difficult or very dangerous for the mummies.
Okay, sir. Of course, why are these mummies an added value to the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, and how will these mummies be displayed in this museum?
Yeah, this is our scope of UNESCO. When UNESCO programming for Egypt, when with establishment of Nubian Museum and Civilization Museum. The Civilization Museum have a scope to make a mummy center here, and the masterpieces here in the this museum is the mummies.
Okay, Dr. Badawi, regarding the mummification secrets, until now there are some secrets that are not revealed until this moment. Why? It takes us hundreds and hundreds of years to know that the process of mummification is hard and it cannot be reached. What are the secrets that are being hidden until now?
It is more difficult to define the natural materials used by pharaonic times to make to conserve it thousands of years. Until now, there is the research, scientific research, they have do not idea about the percentage of this material. It is for pharaonic times only. Until now, there is a lot of problems for research. For our research, I am a research man, but I do not. Until now, it is more difficult to find the special materials the pharaonic uses it in these times.
Okay, sir, the bodies of Senedjam, if I'm pronouncing the name right, senior official of the new kingdom of Egypt, and his wife were perfectly preserved. They were perfectly preserved. Their mummification process resembled that of royal kings. What were the procedures taken after removing the covers of the two sarcophagi?
For this is a special labs here for wood here sarcophages. A special laboratory or lab for to conserve this types of materials by detecting the types of deterioration and to make to conserve and to clean and to using mechanical and the chemical cleaning and to preserve it and to preparing for the expedition here. There is a good colleagues here and a good expert in this type, and they have a good idea and a good results about to conserve and to for the special types of coffins.
Okay, Egypt is giving a great importance to an international center for restoration. Tell us more about this center.
Yeah, our colleague in UNESCO established this center not only for Egypt, for Africa, our colleagues in Africa and Middle East. There is firstly, conservation center includes central labs, have a different units, units for carbon-14 to detect the history or the age of different archaeological materials, especially for organic materials, for mummies, for wood, for textile. And we have a unit for plasma to detect the colors, ancient colors and ancient materials and ancient different materials from historical types, special for historical sites. We have also a portable lab. You have a lot of problems about to have take some samples from tombs, from temples, but now we have a laboratory lab to move to the sites without taking samples. We have special an instrument using non-destructive methods for detect the colors, detect the types of clay, of decays, the types of salts, all dangerous material. We have also units here for color materials. Also, we have units for chromatography to detect the special types of mummification for research in this field. We have also laser units here to clean the materials, to clean the material or to clean the different materials. Also, we have 11 laboratory for different types of material with modern technology. We use here the new technology for conservation of different types of materials.
Doctor, of course, UNESCO always boosts efforts to preserve our heritage and the heritage everywhere. What is the role of UNESCO in the NEMIC?
The UNESCO here is for to make for us the information, the different experts from different types of museum in the world for the different experts for especially for papyrus, for anoxia, for wood, for textiles. Also, our expert from UNOXO helps us to find the materials, to find an instrument, and we work with me to establish this conservation center and selected the type of an instrument, the type of woods, type of tools, type of machine, and the type of chemical materials, and types of cleaning, and what is the strategy here, and the policy for conservation for different works here in Namek.
Dr. Badawi, beside the mummies that are going to be on display on the inauguration day of the National Civilization, the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, what other important artifacts are going also to be on display?
There is a different, very important here for the jewelry, from excavation here and Wadi, new valley. Dush is very important. Also, there is different types of selections. You know, one showcases for we have the first people or first country beginning with farming here in Egypt. Also the showcases making or speaking that Egypt is the first in the language and writing, and the Egyptian who is the first making the writing. Also we have here showcases that is Egypt is the first in the manufacture and the manufacturing technology, especially in textile. We have another showcases because that is we have the first in medicine. Also we have showcases that we have the first for making the architectures, and we have one showcases also to make design for architecture. It's very important. We have another showcases to make the first civilization in the history. We have here some types also for 5 showcases speak about that living culture is not stopped in Egypt. There is until now there is a culture and living in our village and cities in Egypt.
Okay, Dr. Badawi, the technology, of course, and technology today, of course, is a turning point in our entire lives all over the world. It plays a main role in the multimedia presentation of this museum. Would you shed more light on the role of technology in museums nowadays? And does the role of technology in this sort of museum is different than archaeological museums? If yes, please tell us how.
It is a tool helps us to get information.
It's what?
To get information.
Get information or give information?
Give information, sorry. Give information. Sorry, to give information. In showcases, you find a small video, and you find some films about the civilization, about the history here. It helps us to give some information, especially for children. And
it's on the Facebook, on the page of the Namek.
Yeah, and there is another films for heritage, cultural heritage, especially for natural heritage, also for mummification. The films for mummification. It's very important.
How many pages are they?
Maybe 5.
5 pages.
Yes,
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And this enhances, of course, tourism and works on tourists to come and visit. Sir, do you meet tourists now, or you're still going to be after the inauguration? The tourists are going to start coming.
I hope after April, all things again here in Luxor and Aswan in Cairo, and retains our tourists here, because you know all in the world and Western especially prevents any tourist to come in here to here. But maybe after April, I found a good position for sites or
Of
museum.
course, sir, we wish you best of luck. But to my knowledge, a lot of tourists and a lot of Egyptians also will be visiting Luxor and Aswan for the new year. So we wish you, of course, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Was the
we
Christmas?
hope-
Was the Christmas and the New Year?
Yes,
There is
Luxor and Aswan are
there is a
really
charter
booming, yeah.
coming from France,
Yes.
charter coming from Germany, and
Yes.
from Italy also,
Yeah.
and a lot of.
So now you have Germany, you have Italy,
yes, yes,
no
and French.
Russians.
No Russian.
What else?
Also Belgian, Denmark, French, Poland.
That's wonderful, sir.
Aswan and Luxor and Hurghada.
And you also have Egyptians.
Yeah. As of different Egyptians.
Yes,
come.
many Egyptians are looking forward to
From
come to
2
Luxor and
days
Aswan.
ago, we have a conference about sustainable development by Nile Cruise from Aswan and Luxor. We have 50 persons from Italy and from the United States of Emirates, from Jordan, from Kuwait, from Saudi, comes to visit Aswan and Luxor. We have a message for the world. Our sites, our tourism site is safety for Corona.
No, Egypt is safe
It's
and
safe from
secure,
corona.
and of
And,
course,
yeah.
when it comes to Corona, we have to take our precautionary measures and stay safe, of course, and stay strong, and everything is going to be fine. But Egypt is open and available for all the tourists to come over.
Also,
Of course,
especially
Dina, you're going to end this.
Yeah, Dr. Badawi Ismail, NEMEX Restoration Consultant and D-Love Antiquities Faculty in Luxor. Thank you very much for joining us
Thank
today.
you. We have a message for the world. Our touristic sites is safe from Corona.
Dr.
Visit
Badawi, it
us.
was a pleasure, of course, to have you with us
Thank
today.
you. Thank you.
Your informative knowledge, of course, added a lot to our program. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us,
Thank you.
and looking forward to seeing you
Shukran.
again in Nile Cruise or in any program in Nile TV. And
Thank
of
you.
course, wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Wishing you a wonderful New Year where you're going to be witnessing loads and lots of tourists here in Egypt,
I hope.
hopefully,
I hope.
inshallah.
ونشوفكم
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Dear viewers, you're still watching Nile TV, Nile Cruise on Nile TV. Stay with us. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Don't go away.